So hi everybody and welcome back to this Unreal Engine 5 full game tutorial series for absolute beginners. This is video 57, and before we start I have some information about this tutorial series because I realized this game is too big and we will probably not finish it, and that's why we make only one part, which will be this tutorial part at least. So this is this one level. We make here some setups and then we will finish this tutorial series, but of course there are still many things to do, and in this video we are creating info text for the player when he start this tutorial level. That this info text is providing information how to use this game, and what I mean with that is, let me show you that. So when I start here, you can see it pop-ups here info. So for example, press touch to move. So I know I have, and press here the skills, then I press here OK. Then I move on, and then you can see here says touch and swipe display to move, which means now I can have to touch this. Of course, this one is a development environment and we use a mouse, but this will be a mobile game. Or depends, perhaps also a PC game, then you have to change the text and so on. But the important part is we are creating now this widget, this info, and that's it. And you can see this to info text is guiding the player to all mechanics, what he can do then in this, and so on. You have to implement all this kind of stuff. Okay, let's get started. First of all, we need to create this widget here. So, and for this purpose, we jump here to our OR folder. You go to your ORI folder, then you go here, perhaps create a new folder for tutorial instructions, like me, or something else, what you like. And then here, right click again, we go to user interfaces because we want to create a widget blueprint, and we choose this user widget, which is common. Of course, you can check this one as well. User widget, I call it with WBP, which stands for widget blueprint. This is just a convention, you don't have to, but you can. And then you name it what you like. I call this one tut1, just for test purposes. We open this one up, and in this part we will do the same thing like here, and I will skip this whole style part here because this is just styling and you can style on your own, I hope by now, because what you have to do is just, so for example, let's compare this one together. Let's say I am doing just here a copy. I have already this one, so I make just a copy. Then I go here, select this one and paste. Now I have all. But what you have to do is, of course, when you start from scratch, here you go here on top. Here is your palette, and then you have here, for example, let's do a little bit together. So for example, one of them here, you start with a border, for example, then you scale this. Then after let's make this one here. After the border, you can make a horizontal box, perhaps. I don't know if you really need a horizontal box here. For what is that? Let me see this one. I'm not so sure if you really need here a horizontal box, but perhaps. But normally what you can put here also is just a text. For example, here you can put here just a text to this border, and then you have just, yeah, do something like that. So I will skip this part because we already made widgets in other tutorials, and this widgets here what I made are anyway prototypes, which means they are not very beautiful. These are just throw in, and if you style them very well, that will be changed anyway. But important is you just create this widget, what you pointed out, and then you create here a button. So while these are just text, for example, this one is just text. This is just a picture. You can see it's just an image. Then you have to create probably an arrow image, and this kind of stuff you can make with with free software, or if you have Photoshop, it's not free, but there are also free software. I used GIMP, for example, to create this arrow from Paint. So I made this one, I converted it to Paint, and then I made it there, and so on. Of course, you are creating your pictures your text and so on. And then this button here needs to be set up. What you have to do is you click on your button, you scroll again down, you click here on click. Why we have here no click? Because it's new. Okay, then you go here and press on click or on press, depends. The other things, then we jumps here to the graph section. The other one we don't need. And here you need just to do let's see what I have to do there. Here we set the pause, because at start when the widget is constructed, I want pause the game so that the player can read. Here when it starts, for example, this tutorial, you can see the game is now paused. The player can read now the info text, watch this, and then he says okay, and then he can test this kind of stuff what he just read, and then he goes on and then he read again, okay, I can swap this display, then he can test this after he pressed okay, and so on. That's our little setup here. And to do that, I make it again a little bit easy. I just copy this one here over. So, and paste this here. You can see we can reuse all time things. This button here I can't reuse. I put it here down. So what you have to do is, first of all, on event construct, if you don't have it, you just right click event construct, and then it should this pop up. From this one you write set game paused, and then make a tick here, and this is the first step to pause the game. And then we press here C to make a comment and write pause game, something like that. And you can give it a color. I give this one as my OK color. There are other colors have other meanings. And then you go to the button, and the button means just continue, which means from the button you set game paused, and then you uncheck this tick. Now it will unpause the game. And we need one more thing, because we added the widget to the viewport. This one needs to be removed. So after this one you write remove from parent, and that's this one. Here you write again a C, a kernel, unpause game, or continue or something like that. And that's almost that, and that's finished. So for this part you can see, after you made here your style, this button, this one, we need one more step, which is we need of course call this widget. And there are two ways to call this, or many ways actually to call this widget. First of all is you can make here just a collision box, so when the player walks into this collision box, the widget is called. So you have to create just a collision box. Let's do this one first too. I make it here for test purpose in this place. Normally you can go for in blueprints or something like there. Here is a hint text, and then you can make here right click blueprint class, and then you can make an actor, and then you can call it what you like, gameplay and skill. Okay, BP would be cool because it's a blueprint as a convention again, and then hint text one. But of course you need here a better description what this hint text is. For example, hint text, let's say for fun, camera. So this should be a little bit more descriptive. Then this one you open up, and then what we have to do here is we go here to the right side components, add a collision. You write here collision, and then we have here three options. I choose just the box collision. You rename this one, but we really need this one, so we compile, save this one. And what we do, what we want to do is when this one is triggered, which means when my player walks into this collision box, so I go here down, I have here on component begin all up events. You can click on this one, it changes you to the graph section. The other one we don't need right now. And then we can set up this one. It's very easy. Here you go to the other actor. I don't use a cast because cast is expensive. We can use, for example, other actor as tag, other actor again. not others, so actor, we write actor has tag, and then it popped this one up. And my player, I already tagged it. I use this in many places. That makes sense. Player 1. How you can tag this to your player? Let me show you this fast too. You find your player character. I go here to the world settings. It's my case. I have here my default setups. That's very handy. And then I click here. It pops up. This is the player character. Then I have here, select it on the top. Then I switch here to details panel and then write here tag. And then we have here add different, careful, there are different kind of tags. I'm interested in this one, actor section, tag section here where it says tag. And then if you don't have here one, you press here plus and then you write your tag. I need just this one tag here. Oops, now I have deleted it, so I have to create it again. Okay, it was player 1. And then now I have a tag, which means I can use that now to identify exactly, for example, on this overlap. So I switch here, so you can see I can check actor has tag, player 1 I just assigned. We make here a branch, so you can this one write branch or press B is the shortcut. And then if this is the actor, then we can pop up our widget. And how we pop up our widget is create widget, and then select the class which we just created, this widget blueprint. It was our hint skill. Was this? No, it was not hint skill. It was our tut. Tut1 was it? Okay, which blueprint tut1. Add to viewport. That's almost it, but there is one more step. What is the mistake here? Or not a mistake, let's say what we have to do here probably as well. Probably we need a do once node. Why that? Because here you can see when I overlap this again, it will pop up again, but I'm not interested in do this one. So I'm interested in doing this only one time. So after this one, let's do a do once node, do once please. So which means this do once node says only I will trigger this one time the code which comes behind. And if you go here again, I ignore it all time. So again, that's our setup for this one. Let's make it so. And then select all again, press C for a comment, and write here triggers overlap player. Let's make here overlap player and cast and create widget. Okay, something like that. You can write what you think it's right. And then we have this one, compile, save. And this one we can use now to work. And then you can put it here in the scene. Let's put this one in the scene, what we just created. We go to the production, we go here to UI, not to the UI, that was our blueprint. So I have to go here to the blueprint, which section, that was here the hint text, that was our camera text. And now you can place this here and you can see this one has not perhaps the shape. You can change this in two places. You can change it here or directly here in this viewport. Let's change it for here for this time. So you can see I can change it to gizmo. You press here W, E or R. R is for scaling. And then you scale this. Let's say, okay, I want that when you scale it here, that when you walk here in, and then I put it here. So let's say it's here, and here's my player start. Let's put it a little bit back. That's okay normally. And then I start it. And now this is just automatically started. And now let's see, I walk in front, and this is the one which we just made. You can see, yeah. And again, that's it for this video, but there is one more thing what I want to mention. Of course, you don't need to have overlap box, because this is only one way. The other way would be, for example, you just started when the player starts. For example, again, we jump here to my player. There are some test code, that's why it's not safe here. This is also test code. I mean, I have not commented out. So you can just go to the begin play, for example, here in player start. here's the begin play, and then at when the end is here, you can just say, okay, I want just create the widget which I created at the start with the player. So when my player spawns, I create this info text, and that's actually I'm doing here. So I overlap nothing. So when I start again, this one is just created, you saw it. So I start the game with a little delay, it starts here and is added. And this one you can do, but I want to show you here something, so it's very easy actually. End of begin play, you just say create widget blueprint, add to viewport, that's it. But there is a problem. The problem is you need a little delay node. Must be not very long, I think. It needs not even to be 1 second. We can make it, let's see, 5, I'm not sure. And the reason why we need this delay node is there is an order how Unreal Engine is spawning or initializing all the things. If you are not doing this little delay node here, then let me show you what happens. Then you see it is spawned here before it has possessed the camera of the viewport of this player. That's why we need the little delay node, so that it possesses the camera of the player and adds it to the camera viewport of the player. This is a little, oops, no, I have C++ inactivated, I hope it comes not. Okay, that's this one. And yeah, that's it for this video actually. So if you have any questions or any comments like all time, write in the comment section. See you in the next video. Bye, good luck, and like all time, have fun.